I just found a YouTube channel that with only 7 videos has gained nearly 100,000 subscribers just by uploading videos created with the power of AI. But what's even more interesting is that their very first upload was posted only 3 weeks ago and is already sitting at over 3 million views, which allowed the channel to reach YouTube's monetization requirements very quickly. And even though this channel is still brand new, nearly every new video they upload continues to pull in hundreds of thousands of views. That's why in this video, I'm going to break down the entire strategy behind what they're doing and show you how to create videos in this niche that are structured to perform well. Now, some of you might think that videos like these aren't monetizable, but if we take a look at this creator right here, you can see that within about 30 days, their channel has already reached key milestones, and the recent channel activity clearly shows strong early performance. And the good news is that if you follow a well-structured blueprint, this style of content becomes much easier to execute consistently. And because of that, I've prepared a full step-by-step blueprint that you can follow to understand how videos in this niche are made. Also, since we'll be using AI as a tool throughout the process, you don't need prior experience or a large budget. So even if you're a complete beginner, you'll be able to follow along and learn the entire process from start to finish. Now, the first and most important step in the entire process is creating a high-performing script. That's because if your script is weak, it doesn't matter how good your visuals are, the chances of the video actually taking off are extremely low. And to make this easier to follow, I've already prepared all of the prompts you'll need for the entire process, and you can find them inside my free Telegram channel linked below, so make sure to grab those before we start. Now, to start off, we will be using ChatGPT. So once you are in, start by telling it that it is a YouTube content strategist, and then ask it to generate 5 viral video ideas for a YouTube channel in the elder wisdom niche. Next, below that, I've added important instructions that it needs to follow in order to give us ideas that are actually good, so make sure to use the exact prompt that I'm using right here. And once you run this prompt, ChatGPT will provide you with a list of 5 video ideas specifically made for this niche, and each one includes a strong title, along with a short description that explains the concept behind each idea. So now that the ideas are ready, let's create the video script. To do that, in the same ChatGPT session, start by telling it that it is a professional storyteller specializing in high-retention wisdom videos. Next, go through the ideas above, choose the one you like the most, and then paste it into the idea section right here so it knows which idea you've selected. Below that, you'll need to enter the script length. In my case, I'll enter 5 minutes just as an example, but you can choose a longer length of up to 20 minutes if you want. Finally, the rest of the prompt is packed with key instructions that are very important and formatted specifically to generate an engaging script, so make sure to use the entire prompt exactly as shown. And once you run this prompt, ChatGPT will generate a full script based on the idea you selected, written in a way that maximizes retention and keeps the video interesting to watch. So again, make sure to use the exact prompt I'm using, and you'll end up with a script similar to this one right here, which is already very solid. Now, with that done, the next step is creating the voiceover. To do that, we'll use a tool called 11 Labs, so go ahead and open it. The first thing you need to do is enter the video script. Head back into ChatGPT, but make sure to copy only the intro, and this is very important. I'll explain why in just a moment. Now head back into 11 Labs and paste the intro into the script section right here. Next, open the voice section on the right side, where you'll find multiple voices you can use. Here, make sure to select a voice that represents an elder person. In my case, I'll use the Bill voice, so feel free to use the same one if you want. Next, in the model section above, make sure to select the newest 11v3 model, since it's optimized for a clean and natural sounding voiceover. Once everything is set, click on the generate button below to start the process. Now, this process is usually pretty fast, and once it's done, as you can see, we've generated 2 different variations of the intro. From here, simply choose the one you like the most and download it by clicking the download button right here. So now that the intro is ready, head back into ChatGPT and copy the rest of the script from start to finish. Then, go back into 11 Labs, paste the script into the script section, and generate the voiceover the same way you did before. And once that's done, 2 new voiceover variations will be generated. Choose the one you like the most, download it using the download button, and with that done, you will be ready for the next step. Now in this step, we need to create the image of our main character. To do that, open a new ChatGPT session and start by telling it to create one high-quality text-to-image prompt for an image of an 80-year-old man. You can customize this prompt if you want, but the prompt I'm using is fully optimized for creating a clean and realistic avatar image, so you can also use the exact same prompt I'm using here to get the best results. And once you run this prompt, as you can see, ChatGPT will provide you with a fully detailed text-to-image prompt that's ready to use. So now that the prompt is ready, copy it from here and head over to a tool called Whisk, which we'll use to generate the image. Once you're inside Whisk, paste the prompt into the prompt section right here. Next, in the aspect aspect ratio section, make sure to set the ratio to 16:9. Once that's done, click on the Generate button to start the generation process. This process is usually pretty fast, and once it's done, as you can see, we've generated a set of 2 images that represent our avatar. The images came out realistic and high quality, which is exactly what we want. So now that the images are ready, download the one you like the most. And with that done, you'll be ready for the next step, where we'll add a talking animation to our image. Now for this step, we'll use a tool called DupDub, so go ahead and open it. Once you're in, as you can see, DupDub offers multiple useful features, but the one we'll be using is the AI avatar feature, so make sure to open that one. After that, start by uploading the image you just created into this section right here. Next, open the upload section on the right side and upload the intro voiceover, since we only need the talking avatar for the intro. Once everything is set, click on the Generate button above, then click Generate again, and with that done, your talking avatar will be fully created. So now that the avatar is ready, click on the 3 dots right here and open the Post-Edit Video feature. Once the video has finished processing, click on the Export button above, which will open the export settings. Here, make sure to set the quality to 4K, then set the bitrate to high, and finally set the FPS to 60 for smoother playback. Once everything is set, click on the Export button below, and just like that, your talking animation will be finally exported. And with that done, you'll be ready to move on to the next step. Now in this step, I'll show you how to create the visuals for the video. So to start off, open the same ChatGPT session where you created the script, and tell it that based on the video script above, you want it to generate text to image prompts to visualize the story through old photographs. Below that, I've added a lot of important instructions that make this step work properly, so make sure to use the exact prompt I'm using, which you already know where to find. And once you run this prompt, ChatGPT will provide you with a list of 5 text-to-image prompts that represent the first part of your script. At the end, it will ask if you want to continue, so simply type continue, and it will generate the next set of prompts. We're doing 5 prompts at a time to maintain consistency and detail in the visuals. Now repeat this process until you reach the final result, and in my case, I generated a total of 25 image prompts all ready to use. Now with the prompts ready, we'll use Whisk to generate the images. Once you're inside Whisk, make sure the aspect ratio is set to 16:9. Next, head back into ChatGPT and copy the first image prompt. Then return to Whisk, paste the prompt into the prompt section, and click on the Generate button to start the process. And once it's done, as easy as that, we've just created a set of 2 images that represent the first part of our story. And as you can see, this is exactly the style we're looking for. Now repeat this process for the rest of the prompts until you've generated images for each one. And in my case, I've created a full set of images that visually represent the entire script. So now that everything is ready, download each image from here, and with that done, you'll be ready for the next step, where I'll show you how to find additional visuals for the video. To do that, we'll use a website called Vecteezy, so go ahead and open it. Once you are in, open the settings on the left side and make sure to select the video option. Next, in the search bar, search for videos that match your script. For example, I'll search for family videos, and once I click search, as you can see, all the videos related to that keyword will appear. Now, in the license settings on the left, make sure to select free license, and just like that, only videos with a free license will be shown. Now you simply need to find videos that fit your script and download them. This step is up to you, because you'll need to go through your script and match visuals accordingly, but it's very easy and it shouldn't be a problem. And with that done, you are now finally ready to start with the video editing process. Now to edit the video, we will use an editing tool called CapCut, so go ahead and open it. Now once you are in, start by importing everything you've created so far. That includes the voiceover, images, videos, and the background music. Once everything is imported, select the intro voiceover and drag it into the editing timeline below. Next, select the second part of the voiceover and place it right next to the first one. With that done, as you can see, the voiceover has small gaps, which are basically pauses between some of the lines, and those need to be fixed. To do that, place the editing line right where a gap begins, cut the voiceover at that point, and then drag the next section right next to the first one. Next, move the editing line to where the next gap starts, cut it there, and repeat the same process. This step is very simple, so just continue doing this until you reach the end of the voiceover. Keep in mind that you only need to remove the larger gaps. If the pauses are very small, you can leave them as they are. Also, make sure not to cut the intro voiceover at all, because if you do, it won't match the video of your character. And to save some time, as you can see, I've already done this for the entire voiceover. And with that out of of the way, we're now ready for the next step. Now, select the intro video and place it at the very beginning of the timeline. Make sure it's properly aligned with the voiceover. Finally, lower the volume of the video to 0, since you won't need its original audio. Once that's done, zoom in on the voiceover section. Then, based on what's happening in the script, select the correct image and place it at the appropriate point in the timeline. Then, simply extend or cut it so it matches the voiceover. Once that's done, select the second image and based on what's happening in the script, time it so it fits that exact part. This step is very simple. You just need to add all of the images and videos at the correct points in the script. And to save some time, I've already done this for the entire video. Now all of the scenes are in their correct places, and with that done, we're ready for the next step, where I'll show you how to add a smooth zoom animation to the visuals. To do that, place the editing line at the beginning of the first image. Then, in the settings on the right, add a keyframe. Next, move the editing line near the end of the same image, and this time, in the settings on the right, scale the image to 110%, which will add a second keyframe at that exact part. Now, place the second keyframe at the end of the image, and then press Alt+K, which will open the keyframe feature. In this section, select the first keyframe and click on the Auto Adjust button above. Then, select the second keyframe and then auto adjust it in the same exact way. And with that done, as you can see, we've just added a smooth zoom-in animation to the first image. So now, let me show you how to continue this animation for the next image. To do that, place the editing line at the beginning of the second image, but this time make sure to scale the image to 110% and then add a keyframe at the start. Next, move the editing line near the end of the same image, and in the settings on the right, scale the image back to 100%. Once that's done, place the second keyframe at the end of the image, then open the keyframe editor and adjust both keyframes in the same way as before. And with that done, as you can see, we've created an animation where the first image is zooming in and the second image is zooming out at the exact same pace. So now that you know how to add the zoom animations, repeat this process for all of the images in your timeline, but make sure not to add any animation to the videos, since it isn't needed. And to save some time, as you can see, I've already applied the same animation to all of my images. And with that done, we're ready for the next step. Now to start off, open the text menu above, then open the auto captions feature and click on the generate button below. Now this process will take around 30 seconds, and once it's done, as you can see, captions have been added throughout the entire video. However, the default text looks plain and boring, so let me show you how to improve it. Now to start off, open the font section on the right and choose a font that you like the most. This step is completely up to you, but in my case, I'll use this font right here since I like how it looks. Next, lower the font size to around 5, so the text doesn't stand out too much. Finally, to make the text more visible, scroll down and enable the shadow feature. This will add a subtle shadow effect to the text, and just like that, it becomes much easier to read. So now that the captions are fully set, the next step is to select all of the assets above the voiceover. Basically, select everything you've added so far, then right-click on any section right here, and then create a compound clip, which will merge everything into one clean asset. Next, open the animation menu on the right side, then go to Out Animations and select the Fade Out animation, which will make the ending much smoother and cleaner. Now with that done, let's add the background music. To do that, open the media section and drag the first track right below the voiceover. Once that's done, in the settings on the right, lower the volume to around -20 so it doesn't overpower the voiceover. Next, go to the end of the track and find the point where it naturally fades out, then cut the extra blank space after it. After that, drag your second track right next to the first one. Just like before, lower the volume of the second track to around -20 and add a 2-second fade in so it blends smoothly with the first track. Then, cut the second track so it matches the length of the voiceover and add a 2-second fade out to make it end smoothly. Finally, select the first track and add a 2-second fade into it as well. And with that done, your video is fully set, so now let's export it. Now to export the video, click on the export button above, which will open the export settings. Here, make sure to copy the exact settings I'm using. However, if you're working with a lot of assets that are in 4K, make sure to set the export quality to 4K as well. Once everything is set, click on the export button below, and just like that, your video will be exported. So now that the video is ready, let's finally see how it came out.
My name is Daniel, and I'm 74 years old. I've lived a long life, a full one in many ways, but there's a single conversation I still replay in my head. Not because of what was said, but because of what never was. It was an ordinary afternoon, the kind you don't think twice about while you're living it. I was in my 40s then, busy in the way people convince themselves is necessary. Work, responsibilities, plans for the future. I remember being tired, distracted, already half somewhere else. And there they were, sitting across from me, trying to say something that didn't quite come out right. They started with small talk. That should have been my first sign. When someone leads with something unimportant, it's usually because what they want to say feels heavy. I nodded along, glanced at the clock once or twice, told myself I'd listen better in a minute. But the minute never came.
As you can see, the video turned out really good. It has that old nostalgic vibe, it feels emotional, and the script came together nicely. And I didn't show the entire video so we don't waste any time, because in the next part of this video, I'll show you how to correctly upload the video on YouTube to maximize its visibility, so watch closely. To start off, open the YouTube studio and upload the video you've just created. Once that's done, you'll notice that we're basically missing everything except the video title. Now head back into the ChatGPT session where you created the video ideas and copy the name of the idea that you have used, which will serve as your video title. Next, go back into the YouTube studio and paste it into the title section right here. Now, as you can see, the video is still uploading, so while we wait for that to finish, let me show you how to create a thumbnail that really stands out. To do that, open the same ChatGPT session you used for the video and tell it that you want it to generate a clean text-to-image prompt that will be used to create a YouTube thumbnail. Below that, make sure to enter your video title in this section right here, just to remind it which idea you're working with. Now the rest of the prompt is packed with key instructions and clearly explains the thumbnail format. So as always, make sure to use the exact prompt I'm using here. And once you run it, ChatGPT will provide a fully detailed text-to-image prompt specifically made for your video. Now copy the entire prompt and head over to a tool called Leonardo AI, which we'll use to create the thumbnail. Once you're inside Leonardo, start by opening the models section above and then select the ideogram model. Next, make sure the image dimensions are set to 16:9 since that's the correct thumbnail format. Then, copy the exact settings I'm using, paste the prompt into the prompt section, and click Generate to start the process. Now this process is very fast, and once it's done, as you can see, we've created a high-quality thumbnail that represents the video well. If you don't like the first result, you can simply regenerate the same prompt a few times to get different versions. Now once you find the thumbnail you like the most, download it using the download button right here. Then head back into the YouTube studio and upload it into the thumbnail section right here. Now as you can see, you are still missing the most important SEO elements for the video. So let me show you how to set everything up. For this step, we'll use a tool called vidIQ. So once you are in, make sure to open the AI Coach feature, which is specifically designed for SEO optimization. Next, start by telling it to create a fully optimized video description and tags for your video title. Then, enter your video title into this section right here, so it knows what your video is about. Now, as you can see, I've also briefly explained the niche, the requirements, and the overall format. And once you run this prompt, the AI Coach will generate a fully optimized video description and a list of tags that are specifically made for your video and ready to use. Now copy the video description from here, then head back into the YouTube studio and paste it into the description section right here. After that, scroll down and in the Made for Kids section, make sure to select No. Next, scroll down a bit further and in the Altered Content section, also set the answer to No. Once that's done, scroll down until you find the video tags section. Now head back into the AI Coach, copy the entire list of tags, then return into the YouTube studio and paste them into the tags section right here. And with that done, your video is now fully set up. Now if we head over into the video checks section, you can see that the video doesn't include any copyrighted material, which is very important. Now with that out of the way, head over into the visibility section, then set the video to public and click on the publish button below. And just like that, your video is now live and ready to gain traction. So now that I've shown you the entire process to create videos in this niche, everything from here is in your hands. You've seen the structure, you understand the workflow, and you know exactly what needs to be done. At this point, the biggest difference between people who see results and people who don't is simply taking action and actually applying what you've learned. This niche is moving right now, and getting started early gives you a real advantage. Not because anything is guaranteed, but because you get more time to learn, test, and improve while the opportunity is still wide open. If this video helped you, don't just watch it and move on. Take the first step and put the process into action. And if you found value here, make sure to like the video and leave a comment below. And as always, keep pushing, and I'll see you in the next one.